Hi everyone, Jeffy here, and welcome back to Around the World in Many Days. Today's episode is number 49 and it's titled Towering Above. This time we have a crossword jigsaw hybrid. If that sounds familiar, it's because we've had one early on in the series. This one's a little bit different, and then I'll go through the rules in a bit. First of all, I'd like to apologize. We've had a pretty long gap between videos, over 3 months since the last episode in this series. Really sorry about that. Had to take a little break due to other things in life. I do have a full-time job. I have a family to take care of. People tell me I should get out of the house like once every couple of days, which is insane. Like, who has that kind of time? Anyway, we are back now. Can't really promise any fixed schedule at this point. It's going to be more like whenever I have time. But anyway, we are going to continue this series. So let's dive into episode 49. Read what Gladys writes to us this time. So, dear puzzling, that's us. This is a jigsaw crossword. So we have let's just scroll down for a bit. We have a small grid here and then some jigsaw pieces here. Fill every row and column of the grid using the given pieces, which are slightly too long and can be used horizontally and vertically, backwards or forwards. Once filled, add some grid lines to form a rotationally symmetrical barred crossword whose answers, using normal crossword numbering, match the clues listed below. That's how the puzzle works. And today I have flown to a picturesque lakeside town to admire a row of snow-capped mountains towering above the surrounding landscape. Can you guess where I am? Love, Gladys. So that's the final answer. We are looking for some kind of mountains. Now let's look at what everything in this preamble means that we can understand it. So we are making a barred crossword. Let's open the editable grid for a sec. So barred crossword means we have to put some lines between these cells here, and those are going to work as separators between words. That is as opposed to marking these black. That would be a blocked crossword, which would make some of these cells completely empty. So in this crossword, we're going to put one letter in each cell, and then between cells, we're going to put horizontal and vertical bars. That's what a barred crossword is. And rotationally symmetrical, I think we've discussed that in a previous episode. That just means that the grid is, if you turn the grid upside down, rotate it 180 degrees, it stays the same. So if there's let's say there's a line there, that means if we rotate the grid 180 degrees, that would be there. So there would be either a line there and there, or in neither of them. So that's how the symmetry works. Were there any other strange rules in this one? And then just using normal crossword numbering. So starting from the top left corner, we just number every answer. And these answers are numbered, so these are going to be in the correct order already. What did I do there? Sorry. So I think that's all the rules for the crossword, and we are going to be using these pieces. So each piece has looks like 8 spots, and this is a 7x7 grid. So one letter is going to be left out on either side. And also important is that we can use this backwards or forwards. Okay, now we're going to have to fit these clues on the screen as well. So let's see how we do that. Where's my paper? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here, try to fit these on the screen. No, let's do it the other way around. Move this one, and here we are. I'm not sure how visible. I think this should be legible with this font size, and we can put the grid here. So, all right. Looks like we can fit everything on the screen. So we are putting some, let's just show an example. So if this piece here goes, let's say, on this row, so we could put it somehow like this. O, B, and then that would be one piece. And obviously these empty spots which are from here, these would be filled by the crossing pieces. There would have to be a crossing piece in this direction. Okay, so what can we do immediately? We're going to have to insert some grid lines. Maybe I should enable that tool immediately. So draw some edges here. Maybe black is better. Yeah. So what can we say about this grid immediately before trying to solve any of the clues? Well, as in, I don't remember which episode it was, but we had a diagrammer's crossword. And one trick in a diagrammer's crossword is to look at the central cell and to count how many answers we have in each direction. So for example, across answers are here, and there aren't that many. So 1, 2, 3. Now this is 2 answers, 8 and 12, sorry. So this 1, 2, 3, that's 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 answers in a symmetrical diagrammer's crossword. Now what that means is we cannot put any answer crossing this central cell here, which is this one, because that answer would not have a symmetrical counterpart, which means there would be an odd number of clues. So what that means, 8 across answers immediately means that we can draw these 2 bars in the grid, because there's not going to be an answer crossing this cell. Now that also means that there has to be a down answer crossing this cell, and we can confirm that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There are 9 down answers. So we do have indeed a central down answer here. Now, also one thing to note, if it was the other way around, if we had this structure here, so we would have, if we had an odd number of acrosses, we would know which answer this central across answer is. It would be the middle one because of the numbering. So the numbering goes row by row downwards. But in across answer, in down answers, we don't actually know that. So this could be, if that was number 1, number 2, this could be across answer number 3, and there could be any number of acrosses of down answers. So this doesn't have to be the middle answer. So in other words, this 6 would be the down answer, but this doesn't have to be the down answer numbered 6. Now, so these lines we already know. Now we should start looking at clues then, and obviously we have all the letters here in these pieces, so we can't just make up any word. We have to form words that are doable with these pieces. So let's see. An intelligence organization is not one across, and it's going to be somewhere probably on the top row, right? Abbreviation for an intelligence organization. Now, unfortunately, we can't really solve that because there are multiple. KGB is a good one, CIA. A number of abbreviations fit here that are really like can absolutely appear in a crossword. So can't really do that. 3, again, can't really do that. A city in France, like there's more than one city in France, right? Bullets and such. This could be something like ammo for ammunition, ammo. But here's maybe a good starting point is this one. An actor who has played the Joker. Now that's pretty specific. Now that's not specific enough in that there are multiple actors who have played that character. But we can start there for a couple of reasons. First of all, there aren't that many people who had played that character, and second of all, this is if we look at these 2 answers, these are the central across answers. So like we said, acrosses are sort of the central across answer is going to be 2 symmetrical answers in relation to the center. So it might be here, 1 word here, 3 letters, and 1 word here, or it could be something like this, 4 and 4, because this is 8 and 12, so these are in the middle of these 8 answers. but they could never be something like this because that's not symmetrical. And it could never be there because we don't have any cross answers between them. So what that means is, first of all, those two answers, the number 8 and the number 12, are going to have the same number of letters. Now that's going to be important because if we look at people who have played the Joker, we have Jack Nicholson. Well, that's immediately ruled out by, well, the grid being 7 by 7 and Nicholson having 9 letters. That's ruled out. We have Jared Leto. That would be 5 letters and 4 letters. That's immediately ruled out because we have to have two symmetrically placeable words, right? So we can't have 5 letters no matter where it is and then 4 letters here because that's not symmetrical. Who else do we have? Heath Ledger is 5 and 6, if I count correctly. And I've had some problems counting letters recently, so forgive me if I make a mistake here. Heath is 5 letters and Ledger is 6 letters, so that could never be symmetrically here. And then we have, I think most recently, Joaquin Phoenix, which is 7 and 7, which would barely fit here, but is a pretty hard crossword answer to fit anywhere because you need to have a Q and a J and an X, which are pretty rare letters. But that is an answer we can actually fit here. So 7 and 7. And if we look at the pieces now, we do have an X, we do have a J here. Do we have a Q? We have a Q, and the Q and the J are even on the same piece. And if we look at how Joaquin would fit here, Joaquin, that looks very suspicious, like that's going to be our Joaquin piece here. And we have the X piece, we would have Phoenix. Phoenix fits in this piece. Not sure how to mark these pieces that we've used. It's going to be, maybe that's enough. I'm not sure. We'll see. So Joaquin Phoenix is going to be our answer for this 8-12. Now, I don't think I mentioned every actor who has played the Joker, but I mean, this should be enough, finding these pieces that Joaquin Phoenix, which is, like I said, not two words that are not very crossword friendly. When you find two pieces that fit them, it's probably going to be right. So that is going to be these pieces that I've highlighted here. Now, a couple of things to note. First of all, that's going to place some edges here because we can't have a cross answers between these 8 and 12 because there are no crossword answers numbered 9, 10, or 11. So these are going to be all bars in the central row here. And this is going to be the number 8 now. I'm not going to mark the numbers in the grid. Should I? Maybe I should, maybe I should. So how do we do this? Does that work? Number there. Okay, yeah, that works. And 12 there. So these are going to be our Joaquin Phoenix. Now we have to keep track of which letters we have from these pieces and which we've sort of deduced ourselves. So let's mark Joaquin here. Well, maybe I don't mark the numbers because they get erased whenever I put the answers in. So Joaquin is spelled that way, which is a fun word, by the way. Phoenix, another fun word. And then we have a surface tool here. We have to mark somehow that what letters we have used. Yeah, let's do that. No, let's mark this entire piece. So we have one letter that we haven't used. So that was this B here. And from the Joaquin piece, we have an E here. So we have to mark those as well. And let's mark them. Should we use light gray? Is that visible? So what pieces have we used? So this X was used, EN was used, H, and this B. And for this one, JQ, I-N-E. So yeah, I think this works. So these two pieces have now been placed. And that should allow us to find some crossing answers. So where do we start? We could look at, do we look at pieces or answers? I think we can look at pieces because we have some letters that we know whichever piece goes here vertically is going to cover this one, right? So let's look at pieces that contain a P. So we have this CPR piece that contains a P, and that's the only other piece. Should we mark actually? I'm going to disable that one and just scroll up and down because I'm going to need multiple of these tools. So maybe the line, we mark with the line what we've used. So that we used, and we used the Phoenix one. So this one is used as well. Okay, so what were we looking at? We were looking for a P now, and this P here is going to be the only one that we can use. Now, can we know which way that goes? So this could be an R, 3 blanks. No, we had 2 blanks and then R, 2 blanks, and then a P. So the R would be here, and this would be completely empty. Now the only question is, do the rules allow that? I think they shouldn't. So we fill every row and column using the given pieces, which are slightly too long. Yeah. So it's going to be the other way around. Not, how do I mark this? So one way would be to put it like this, which doesn't extend all the way into the grid. But the other way is better. Oops, sorry about that. The other way is better because if we put the C here, then we have 3 empties, then the P, 2 empties, and then the R. So that fits in the grid. So that's going to be our first vertical piece here. And that gives us a C and an R here. And then we have, we mark the surfaces as well. So we mark this C and this P and this R as done. Now this C is in the corner. So whichever way this answer goes, it's going to be the answer number 1. And we see that we have an across one and a down one. So both of those are now going to be starting with C. Now, an intelligence organization starting with C, abbreviation. Now that should be, I can only think of one answer, and that's CIA that I think I mentioned earlier. So CIA would fit here. That would mean that the last last across answer is also 3 letters. And that's a military conflict. I think you might even immediately see what the answer is there. But that's going to be our first across answer, CIA. That means we are looking for an across piece that contains this I and A, and I think we can find it. Let's also mark this piece, by the way. That was this CPR piece here. This IA, these are going to be part of the across piece now. So that's going to be, no, not necessarily. They could be part of this. We don't have vertical pieces here yet. Also, we should probably count how many of these there are. So there are 3, 6, 9, 10, 14. So every row and column is going to have one piece, which makes sense, right? Now, we looked at one across, maybe one down. A Stephen King horror novel, starting with a C, having J here. That's Q-Joe. Only one answer that fits here. I mean, Stephen King has a ton of novels, but I would be surprised if any other answer fits here. I don't know them all by heart, but Q-Joe is definitely the one that fits. And that places a bar here, and what's the word, symmetrically, just forgot the word symmetrical. Symmetrically also here. We have to be careful that we keep anytime we mark a bar, we mark the symmetrical counterpart as well. So that means that this answer, we don't know which number it is. No, actually we know, but this down answer is going to be 4 letters because this was 4 letters. And we do know which number it is because this is the next number in line, this phoenix, and that was number 12. So we know that this is the previous number from that. So that's going to be number 11. And that is going to be a type of horse jump with X as the second letter. Now, maybe an unusual word here, an oxer is a type of horse jump. Oxer, so O-X-E-R, which is also a fun crossword word. So that's going to be our answer here. Probably not a second answer fitting this X there. So oxer is our answer. 411 down. Now, can we look at, maybe we can fill in all already this 15 across, because we know that's the last across answer. We know it corresponds to this. We know it's 3 letters and we know it ends with an R. So clearly it's the word war is a military conflict, right? So probably can fill that as well. Now, how many W's do we have in these pieces that are remaining? We have one here, which has an A as well, so it could be a horizontal one. Could it be a vertical one? Potentially. Do we have any other W's? I don't think we do. So it's this one. Now let's look. Can it fit horizontally here? Now we have two cells after this W. So there would be here, and this would be empty. And these are 3 empties, so 3 empties, and that would be F, and that's impossible because it's not an F, it's a U. So this is not vertical, it's horizontal, and these W and A are part of it then. So we have W, A here, then we have 3 blanks, that's these 3, and then we have an F and a K. And let's mark which letters we had from that piece, so K, F, and W, A. And also mark that we used that piece. Well, what did I do there? There we are. Did we mark this piece as used? CPR, we did. Okay. Now this this vertical piece here doesn't have to contain an X. In fact, it shouldn't because we've already used this X here, and there was no second piece containing an X anyway. Do we know which piece fits here? We already have 3 letters here that are going to be. I wanted to say part of the vertical piece, but that's actually not quite accurate. This R has to be part of the vertical piece, but these could be part of horizontal pieces that we haven't put in yet. So let's look at this R only. So that's going to be the first or second letter when reading from this side. So let's see how many options we have. First letter R, we have none here. That we already used. First letter R or second letter R. So that could be possible. Second letter R, we have nothing and nothing. So this is the only piece that fits. And we have an E here, so that's going to be this E here. And N is going to be then, we have 4 empties after the E, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the N. So let's mark that, the N, E, R, and then the second R goes off the grid. And we mark what we use, so N, E, R, R. And we mark the piece as used. Now that tells us that this O and this O are both part of this horizontal piece. Now that should not have many options. Let's see. So we have, first of all, pieces with 2 O's. That's not going to be it because we need 5 empties between the O's. So that only has 1 empty. Here we have 2 O's, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 letters between 5 places between these O's. So that's going to be our piece. These only have 1 O, so only one option. Now the problem is this piece fits in two different ways. It could be G and Z here, GZ, or it could be GZ, and the L either way is going to be off the grid here. So we know which piece fits, but we don't know yet how that goes. So what can we then do? Should we look at the clues? Maybe we can find something else. So we know number 2 is not is down only, so it's probably one of these, starting with I or an A. Warriors of Greek mythology. So I think we can do this. So either warriors of Greek mythology, either starting with I and fitting here, or starting with A and fitting here. And Amazons fits here, this A. So that would mean, just put this in, Amazon 7 letters fits here. Now it doesn't mean it's right, even though it fits here, and I'm like, it could still be wrong, right? But let's see. So that would mean this would then be 2, and then the next, not next, but then the corresponding, symmetrically corresponding down answer would also be 7 letters, and that would start here. So that would either be an expression of hesitation, if that's number 4. No, yeah, that's the only option, because this would be number 2. We would have number 3 here, which would be the across, and then number 4. This couldn't be any other number. This couldn't be number 3 because there's no 3 down. So this would be 4 down, sorry, and this would be 2 words meaning an expression of hesitation. And you know that's what it is. Can you see what it is? So 2 words, and normally like a expression of hesitation in crosswords, it's going to be one very short word. It's going to be a word like or something or something like that. Here it's 2 words and it's long. It's 7 letters with a U here, an N here, and a W here. And if you're hesitating, you're trying to get your point across, you might say, you know, like while trying to think. So you know is going to be the answer. That's an expression of hesitation. So that's our number 4. That's our number 2. And now that disambiguates the piece we already know fits here, because this Z is here and not here. So let's fill in that first and then look at 3 down, 3 across, which we know is going to be here. So this piece with 2 O's was this one. So we know now that the G and the Z go here and the L is on this side. We can also mark which letters we have from this piece, and the O is also from that. And we can mark the piece as used. Now, should we look at this 3 across? That should be doable, because that's a city in France. Like, there are tons of cities in France, but that's very short word. Maximum 4 letters. It could be 3 still, but it does have to start with this letter. It does have to start here, because we know this in the crossword numbering, in the answer numbering, this is number 4. So if we had a bar here, this would be answer number 4, same as this down answer. So we know this is number 3, and we have either these 3 letters. We're not going to have two letter answers in the grid, obviously, because that's a no-no in crosswords anyway. So 3 letters, and I mean, name me one French city with 2 letters. Maybe you could. I don't know. I can't. So a 4-letter or 3-letter French city. That's going to be Lyon here, one of the big ones. So Lyon is going to be our answer in this one. Not many with the Y in this position anyway. So now we have this answer. So symmetrically, this is going to be a 4-letter word then as well. Before that, though, a point about the numbering. So this was answer number 1. This was down answer number 2. So that means this does not start a down answer, which means we can mark a bar there. We can draw a line there because this cannot start a down answer anymore. And that means symmetrically there's a bar there as well. Now the point I was making about what point was I making? I have no idea. Let's start another point. So we know there's some kind of down answer going through this central cell. Now it's going to contain this cell, this letter, whichever letter is in there. It's also going to contain some other letters. Surprise, surprise. So at least this Q and this E, and it has to be symmetrical. So the same number of letters up and down because it has to be rotationally symmetrical. So this Q, U, and like I say U because like what other letter is going to fit there? It's going to be Q, U, E, right? So Q something and E is going to be our answer, part of our answer. Now it could extend that way and that way, or even all the way up. Now all the way up is out from a numbering perspective because we figured out that Leon is across answer number 3 and we don't have a down answer number 3. If we went all the way here, this would be answer number 3. So we can't do that. We could start here. Something Q, something E, something. That would work. Also, before I go further, let's mark this misline because we know this doesn't start a down answer. So mark this and this symmetrically. But yeah, this could be the starting point. So something, Q something, E something. That could be a word. So what number would it then be? We have 4 here. We have 5 as an ancient Roman poet. A Q could be the name of an ancient Roman poet. But can this be answer number 5? I don't think it can. Because this was answer number 4. And we are going to have are we going to have some number here? Could this be number 5? If this is number 5, that means that neither of these start a down answer. So we have, it's going to be hideous, but I'm going to show it anyway. That would mean this doesn't start a down answer. We have a line here and a line here. This doesn't start a down answer, so that's a line there. This doesn't start a cross answer. So it's a line there. And this doesn't start a down answer again. And this doesn't also start an across answer because this has to be number 5. And like already we cannot put anything in this cell because it would be a 1-letter answer. So that is to say that the numbering pretty much dictates that this is not answer number 5. So it's not going to be the name of a Roman poet containing a Q. But we have some other answers that could contain a Q. The word for no in a Romance language, the word for what in a Romance language different from the above, the type of butter. We know oxer is number 11, so it's going to be here. So it's one of these 3 answers basically is going to be our Q answer. Now, that's probably not the place to go next though, because we don't know. First of all, we don't know whether it contains just these 3 letters or these 5. And we don't know which answer it corresponds to. So maybe start with something easier. Maybe this 5 down is easier. Now, this, starting from this cell was number 4. So number 5 is the next number after it. It's going to be one of these. An ancient Roman poet, either starting with an O or starting with an N and being very short. Now, there's no ancient Roman poet that I know that fits here. non, nan, nin, none, doesn't ring a bell, but there is one that fits here, and that's Ovid. So we are going to be able to put number 5 here, O-V-I-D, Ovid. 4-letter answer, that's this answer here, and we can mark this line, and corresponding to this has to be 4 letters as well, starting with GH, which is possible, right? It's not an unheard of combination. Now this I, we're not going to have 2-letter answers, so we can separate these immediately. Which means, now if we look at this U here, no, I was going to say this must start an across answer, but it doesn't really have to. It could be like this, right? The across answer starts here. Anyway, this must be part of an across answer, this cell. But this was number 5, and the next across answer that must be starting either here or here is answer number 7, and it says bullets and such. So answer number 7 is going to be here. If this is 5, where is number 6? There's only one place for number 6, and that is precisely this N. So the word for no in a Romance language, one Romance language that I know the word for no in is French, and it's no, N-O-N. That's going to be our answer here. The word no, which means that this number 9 is not going to be French, it's going to be another Romance language. So no fits here, and now that means that this answer, whichever it is, has to be 3 letters, starting with P and ending in F. Now it's going to be after our horse jump. OXO starts here, number 11, so the only option is number 12, a document format, and that's PDF. So an abbreviation for a document format, PDF, is our answer number 12 here. Now, do we finish the crossword or look at the pieces that we need for these missing rows and columns? I think we just finished the crossword. So let's look at what do we have. This we did in intelligence organization, CIA. A city in France, Lyon. Now bullets and such, I think I mentioned ammo, and ammo fits here if we start from this cell, ammo, using this O. So let's put that in. So there's a line there, not going to have 2-letter answers. And anyway, there's no answer between this 7 and 8, so this is, there's a line there as well. And symmetrically, we have this line, then there's a 4-letter answer, and then 2 lines here. Now the across answer, Joaquin Phoenix we have, that's the next across answer, N something O something, and that is a novice gamer perhaps. Now that's a sort of slang term for a novice in the gaming community. That's a noob. Newbie is often spelled N-O-O-B. So that's the answer for this one. Then we have 15 we had war here, and we have one more across answer missing. So in compounds, a word for a gathering, F something S something, and that's going to be fest in compounds, like Oktoberfest, right? That means a gathering. So fest is the answer there. Now we have a couple down answers still to do. So let's go through this. A Stephen King horror novel, Cujo, that we did. Warriors of Greek mythology, Amazons, we did that. An expression of hesitation, you know. An ancient Roman poet, Ovid. The word for no in a Romance language, no. And then number 9 is the word for what in a Romance language different from French, which we had above. So that's going to now be our answer fitting here, and it's not going to be a word starting MQ, so we can mark these lines now. And like I said, it's going to need a U here, so it's going to be the word que, which is, at least Spanish might be multiple options for, but at least in Spanish it's que. So QUE is our answer for 9 down. And now we need number 10, which is our final answer, which we need. Type of horse jump we did, OXA. A document format we did is PDF. A type of butter, GH something E. It's going to be ghee butter. And that is the crossword done. Now we still need to figure out what to do with these pieces, but let's do that next. Where do we fit this one with the word Aiden? So let's see. Should be pretty obvious where that goes. And these are going to be white letters, by the way. So where are those letters here? DEN here. So we need an A here, and then there's this piece here, ADEN, and then we have this OB. So these two letters are from this piece, and we can mark this piece as being used. Now, how about this AEOI? Maybe look at the ones with more letters. So how about this one, EUAM? It's going to be here, EUAM, and then we can mark all of those letters used, and then the O and the O. And we can mark this piece as being used. Now, where's the V here? Not going to be many V's here. That one, it's not going to be a horizontal piece. It's going to be this way. So it's this V, then the DI. So H is going to be on this side. And from that piece, we use the H here, V here, and then the DI. And we can mark that piece as done. Now then, we still need a horizontal piece for this column containing the Y. There shouldn't be many Y's here. There's the Y and the K and the U. So that's it. So Y, UK, and then 3 blanks, and then the E goes there. And color those in, UK and Y. And mark that piece as done. This now should be pretty easy to finish. How about this EST? No, that's not going to be horizontal. These are going to be part of separate pieces. How about this one with the M? M has to be part of the vertical piece, and there's only one M left. So where is our horizontal piece? It can't be that one. It's that one. This M. So LM here, LM, and then we have the U, O, and T. U, O, and T here. And the M goes after the T. So we have LM, blank U, blank OTM. All of these are part of this piece. Then we have this I here. We have one I left, so that's can't be this I. No, it can be this I, not horizontally, but it can be this I vertically. So that's what we have. So we have this I, blank O, E, and then we have an A there. This A here. And that's that piece. Then we have an S, a single S remaining. So it's going to be one of these two. Can it be this S? Oh, sorry, where's my cursor here? Can it be this S? We need 5 blanks before this O here. So S, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be an O. We can't do that. So it's not this S. It's going to be this S. And then we have blank O, blank A, blank A. O, A, and then the T goes there. So mark these as done, and this piece as well. And now we have one row to go, and that's this piece, the only remaining piece. So we have S and then 5 blanks and an O. So O, blank, that's this blank there, and then 5 blanks, and then the S goes here. And that is our grid finished. Now, that's the finished grid. And now all that's left to do is figure out our destination here. And and shouldn't be too hard. Like we had these pieces that were too long. Now why are they going to be too long? Why are there these letters that don't fit the grid? Well, if we start reading from this side and go around the grid, that's THE, the REMARKABLES, the Remarkables. And that is the name of a mountain range. And we can look up the Remarkables and see where we are at this time. So, where's my Remarkables now? It's here. The Remarkables. So, that's a mountain range in the South Island of New Zealand. So, that's where we are, towering above the surrounding landscape. So, here we are. That's what the place looks like. And we can look at the map as well, see where we are. So, last time we were in Micronesia. And this time we are here on the southern side of South Island, New Zealand. The Remarkable, as it says there. And if we zoom out, look at our trip here so far. So we started in Africa, here we are, Americas, cross over here, and now we are in New Zealand. So that's episode 49. That is where we are. Now, episode 50, which is coming next. Now, that's going to be a puzzle type, which is called aquariums, sort of grid puzzle where you color stuff, and that's going to be our next one, and that's going to be called, I think, Orange on Turquoise. So I will see you for episode 50 next, and for this one, thanks for watching.